Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is August 14th, and the Blue Jays, Mariners, and Dodgers all immortalized a player in their culture, as well as we have a sticky situation for a MLB young star. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today? It is Monday. We're about the midway point of August, and unlike last episode, hopefully this one is much shorter. We're going to dive into our series recap now, so let's get things started. Leading us off, we've got the Cubs and the Blue Jays, and the Cubs start this series off with 2 home runs in the first inning from Nico Hoerner and Cody Bellinger. As the Cubs would add more later on, they would hold their lead for their whole game as they beat the Blue Jays in the opener 6-2. Jose Bautista is honored before the second game and joins the Blue Jays' level of excellence. But when the game starts, the Cubs took a 3-run lead after Dansby Swanson launched a 3-run home run in the 4th. The Jays, though, rallied and were able to tie the game back up with the help of a Whit Merrifield home run. But in the 9th, 2 doubles from Bellinger and Morel would be the difference in the game as the Cubs take another one and beat the Blue Jays 5-4. The Blue Jays cash in 5 runs in the second inning with the help of a 3-run home run from Dalton Varsho. And it didn't end there for the Jays, as later in the game, they had 2 innings where they scored 3 runs, adding up to a total of 11 as Ryu earns his first win in over a year back from injury. The Blue Jays avoid the sweep and win it 11-4. Tigers and Red Sox. Chris Sale is back from injury and pitches 4 2/3 while striking out 7 in his return. The difference in this game came off the bat of Tristan Casas, who hit his 19th home run of the year, a 3-run shot that put the Red Sox out in front as they beat the Tigers 5-2. Game 2, Spencer Torkelson, Eric Haase, and Kerry Carpenter hits 2 for a total of 4 Tiger home runs. That kept them in front of Boston as they even up the series, winning it 6-2. And in that final game, Trevor Story has a great day at the plate, going 4 for 4 with 3 doubles as he starts to feel more like himself. Justin Turner and Adam Duvall both go deep as Boston ends up taking 2 of 3 versus Detroit, winning it 6-3. The Guardians and the Rays now jumping along in this one, top of the 9th. The Guardians down by 3, but the Guardians were able to score all 3 of those runs back on 3 wild pitches, 2 from Pete Fairbanks and 1 from Robert Stevenson. But if you thought the Rays were going to choke away the game, you'd be wrong, as Wander Franco comes up in the bottom of the 9th and crushes a walk-off home run for his 17th of the year. The Rays hold on to the game and beat the Guardians 9-8. Jumping along once more to the end here, the Guardians up 2 entering the 9th inning with Emmanuel Clase on the mound. Yandy Diaz doubles in a run, Brandon Lau singles in a run that ties the game up, and then it's Randy Arozarena who calls game with a walk-off single as the Rays walk off the Guardians on back-to-back nights, beating them once more 6-5. In that final game, the Guardians score all their runs in the first half of the game, including home runs from Andres Jimenez and Gabriel Arias, as the Guardians avoid the sweep and beat the Rays in that last game 9-2. The Cardinals and the Royals now will play a 2-game set, and the Royals attack early, scoring 9 runs in the first 2 innings in this one. 3 home runs from Nelson Velasquez, Bobby Witt Jr., and Salvador Perez. The Royals win the first of the 2, 12-8. And in that other game, the Cardinals were led by Tommy Edman, who hit 2 home runs in the game, and his second one was the difference in the game as the Cardinals win it and split the 2-game set, 1 each. They beat the Royals 5-4. Brewers and White Sox. Victor Caratini homers for the Brewers, Eloy Jimenez homers for the White Sox, and after 9 innings, we would be tied and need extras. Mark Canha delivers a double which scored with the would-be winning run. for the Brewers as they hold the White Sox in their half and beat them 7-6. In the second game, after being down 2, the Brewers were able to score 3 runs in the 7th and take the lead after a William Contreras single, as they would end up winning it once again, coming from behind, beating the White Sox 3-2. And a late 3-run home run from Carlos Santana puts the stamp on the Brewers as they add a couple more runs in the 9th to lead them to the win. The Brewers sweep the White Sox, beating them 7-3. Oilers and Mariners now, and what a series this turned out to be. Cal Raleigh, Julio, and Ty France all go deep in the game, which would lead the Mariners to a win as they beat the Oilers in the opener 9-2. Game 2, it's the King, Felix Hernandez, as he is honored before the game and was inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame. This game was a pitcher's duel, and leading the way was George Kirby, who pitched a complete game shutout. Only problem was the Mariners had not scored a run either, so we would need extras tied at 0, and it was Ryan Mountcastle delivering the only run of the game on a single as Felix Bautista holds the Mariners. Oilers win it and even up the series 1-0. Final game here, entering the bottom of the 9th, the Mariners down a run, looking for something to happen. Ty France hits a ball a long way, but Cedric Mullins makes the home run robbing catch to keep the O's up front, but it didn't matter as Dominic Canzone launched his second home run of the year. That would tie things up. Cedric Mullins would not be able to catch that one. But what Cedric was able to do was, in extra innings, he launched a 2-run home run to put Baltimore up as they would hold on and beat the Mariners as they take 2 of 3 in the series, winning it 5-3. John Singleton is back in the Astros and Angels series here. He hadn't been in the majors since 2015. He played a couple games with the Brewers earlier this year, and he's back to his home run ways as he hits 2 home runs in the game. The last time he hit a home run was 8 years ago, also a part of the Houston Astros. That's just a great story right there. It would end up being an Astros win as they take the first game of the series 11-3. In the second game, Kyle Tucker continues to hit bombs as he crushes his 22nd of the year, a 3-run home run. The Astros score more than 3 runs in 3 different innings as that leads them to another blowout over the Halos, beating them once again 11-3. And in that final game, the difference in this one was Shohei Ohtani, who hit his 41st homer of the year. That led the Angels to a win as they avoided the sweep from the Astros, taking it 2-1. A's and Nats now. First game, Nats hit 3 home runs in the game. They beat the A's 8-2. Second game, Medina makes the worst play we've seen all year, and after the A's hit 2 home runs and took the lead, the Nats walked it off with a Keibert Ruiz home run as they win it 3-2. Final game, Zach Gelof hits 2 home runs as we enter the 9th inning. The A's are up 5 and the Nats come all the way back, scoring 6 runs in the inning and walking it off on a Jeter Downs base hit. A wild come from behind fashion win as they sweep the A's. Nats win it 8-7. A somewhat ugly series inbound here. So we have the Braves and the Mets. In that first game, the Braves shut out the Mets while Austin Riley hits his 27th of the year. The Braves take the first of 4, winning it 7-0. Game 2 here, we have a scheduled doubleheader on Saturday, and that second game, yikes. Ozzie Albies, Sean Murphy, Austin Riley, Nicky Lopez, and 2 from Matt Olson to take over the home run lead now with 42. 6 total Brave home runs. The Braves scored 9 runs in the 9th inning, and they beat the Mets 21-3. And in that second game, it doesn't get much better as the Mets get blanked. Ozzie Albies hits another home run on the day. The Braves win that one as well, 6-0. The Mets have been outscored so far 34-3 in the series, but that's okay because with Kodai Senga on the mound, the Mets were able to win a nail-biter on Sunday Night Baseball, a close game, as they beat the Braves, avoid the 4-game sweep, 7-6. The Yankees and Marlins now, and Anthony Volpe and Judge go deep, but would have the Yankees in the lead as they would take the lead and win beating the Marlins in the opener 9-4. In Game 2, Luis Arias hits his 4th home run of the year. Sandy goes the distance with a complete game performance, keeping the Yankees to 1 run as the Marlins even up the series with the win 3-1. And in that final game, the Marlins were 1 point down 7-1. And when we entered the 9th inning, they were down 7-3. The Marlins scored 5 runs in the 9th, 2 on an error, 2 on a triple from Luis Arias, and then a base hit by Jake Berger to walk it off for the Finns as they come all the way back from being down 7-1 and win it, taking 2 of 3 versus the Yankees, 8-7. Twins and Phillies now, and Polanco and Kepler hit back-to-back home runs to start the scoring in the game. The Phillies, though, next inning put up 6 runs, and it didn't stop there. Bryson Stott, JT Realmuto, and Johan Rojas all went deep, and for Rojas, it was his first career MLB home run. Yes, it came off a position player, but a home run's a home run. The Phillies win the opener 13-2. In Game 2, Matt Wallner, Carlos Correa, and Joey Gallo twice lead the way for the Twins. Those 4 home runs help out the Twins, even up the series with a win 8-1. And in the rubber match, the Phillies get blanked while the Twins score runs off of 2 singles from Jorge Polanco and a home run from Jordan Luplow as the Twins take 2 of 3 versus the Phillies, beating them 3-0. The Reds and the Pirates now. The Reds score 3 runs in the 1st, 4th, and 8th as they were out in front the whole game, leading to a Reds win as they beat the Pirates 9-2. Rain Saturday means doubleheader Sunday, and with the Pirates losing, Jared Triolo hit his first career MLB home run, a 3-run shot that would flip the script and put the Pirates in front as they would hold the Reds from there and even the series with a come-from-behind win, beating them 4-2. And in that final game, 2 home runs from Brian Reynolds. The Reds, though, were able to tie the game with the help of an Ellie De La Cruz home run, and then later on 2 runs scored in the 8th. That would tie us up and send us to extras, where the Reds scored a run on a ball put in play by Stuart Fairchild, and then held the Pirates from there as the Reds take 2 of 3 and beat the Pirates 6-5. Rangers and Giants now. Nathaniel Lau and Mitch Garver go back-to-back in the 6th, which would be the difference in the game as John Gray dealt very well against the Giants, holding them to 1 run. The Rangers take the first game 2-1. In the second game, despite Michael Conforto hitting a home run alongside Heliot Ramos, who hit his first career MLB home run, the Rangers were all over the Giants, including Corey Seager's 20th home run of the year, as that leads them to another win. Rangers take it 9-3. And for that final game, a good pitcher's duel between Dane Dunning and Logan Webb. Logan Webb was so close from a complete game shutout. He was 1 out away, but the Rangers ended that and tied the game in the 9th with 2 outs and sent us to extras, where the Giants were able to walk it off on a Patrick Bailey home run. The Giants hold on and beat the Rangers to avoid the sweep, taking it 3-2. Rockies and Dodgers now. Kershaw was on the mound for the first time since returning from his injury, and he was great, only giving up 1 home run in 5 innings. Max Muncy hit a home run of his own to tie things up. In the next inning, he walked on a bases loaded to score, and what would be the difference in this game. The Dodgers take the first of 4, winning it 2-1. Fernando Valenzuela, number 34, is retired by the Dodgers. They honor him before the game, and during the game, the Dodgers ride a 4-run 6th inning for the rest of that. They end up winning and improve their month record to 10-1, beating the Rockies 6-1. Game 3, Will Smith, James Outman, and Ahmed Rosario all homer for the Dodgers. That leads them to another win as they take it 4-1. And for that final game, Miguel Rojas hit his 2nd home run of the year. Julio Urias does his best job to keep the Rockies down as the Dodgers get the 4-game sweep over the Rockies. They're 12-1 in the month of August. They beat them 8-3. Lastly, here we've got the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Home runs from Xander Bogaerts and Jake Cronenworth lead the way for the Padres as they take the opener versus the D-backs, winning it 10-5. A good start from Zach Gallen and a home run from Christian Walker is a winning recipe if you're a Diamondback fan, and that would be what the case is here. They even up the series with the win 3-0. And during that final game, the rubber match, after being down 3-0, the Diamondbacks were able to tie things up after hitting 2 home runs, Geraldo Perdomo and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. They then took a lead on a sac fly by Alek Thomas and held the Padres from there as the D-backs take 2 of 3 from the Padres and get back to 500 as they win it 5-4. That will wrap up our series recap, and for the game of the weekend, it is going to be the Braves and the Mets, that 21-3 game. I'm not going to be talking about all of that, but we know that the Braves hit 6 home runs. Nicky Lopez had a great day at the dish. Matt Olson now is the league leader with 42 home runs after he hit 2 on the day. Just saying, if you're a Braves fan, it feels good. If you're a Mets fan, well, it doesn't feel as good there. But yeah. Diving on in now to our baseball news, we got to talk about the 3 players who were honored before the games this weekend, starting off with the Dodgers. Fernando Valenzuela. This is a player that I know decently enough about, considering that I was never alive to watch him pitch. But he was a elite lefty for the Dodgers, an incredible screwball kind of, his primary pitch. And his number 34, was retired by the Dodgers before the game on Friday versus the Rockies. So congratulations for him. It's I would think a huge honor to have like your number, like you were the best now to ever wear it, and no other Dodger will ever wear that number. So congratulations, Fernando. Moving on, the Blue Jays idolized Jose Bautista into their level of excellence. Joey Bats, also known as, is most known for his Game 5 home run against the Rangers, the bat flip. He was somebody that nobody really thought was going to amount to anything. The Blue Jays traded for him in 2008, I believe, and then 2009, he set the Blue Jays single-season home run record with 54. So, Jose Bautista definitely will go down as a Blue Jay legend, and now he's immortalized into the level of excellence. They put up a mural of his bat flip in Toronto, so good for Joey Bats, good for him. Congrats to him and his family. And and then for the Mariners, they idolized the King Felix Hernandez, best and well known for his perfect game in 2014. It was the last perfect game ever thrown until this year when Domingo Germán did it, before being on the restricted list for alcohol abuse. But the Felix definitely dealt, and he is definitely going to go down as a Mariners legend, as he was idolized into their Hall of Fame. So for all 3 of those players who had wonderful careers, congratulations to all 3 of them. The accomplishments they had for those specific teams will no doubt go in the history forever. So good for you guys. So now, the last bit of news to talk about, and it's not going to be great news. So what happened is, here we got Wander Franco, the Rays' young shortstop superstar. He did not play in the last game of the series on Sunday, and he has not made the trip with the team to San Francisco. There was some allegations on Twitter about him having relationships with a 14-year-old. The MLB is doing their due diligence to, check all things out, all these social media posts about Wander Franco. It's not a good look for him. We know he had issues earlier in the season with his leadership skills. The Rays had to bench him for a couple days, It's kind of similar things with Tatis, when 2 years ago, last year, with his whole injury, like the way he gets injured. Like, it's young stars, they get the bag and then they kind of lose their head a little bit. And for Wander Franco, this is not a good look. After this, recently, the Rays and Franco have mutually agreed that he will go on the restricted list and take the leave for the club for the duration of the current road trip. So that will allow the Rays to bring up someone and join the team from there. But yeah, not a good look for Wander. Hopefully, all of this is just allegations, it's all false, and nothing comes out of it. But you can't. It has to be taken with a grain of salt and an open mind here that this could be true, and this could throw off Franco's career. He got paid 13 years by the Rays, the longest contract the Rays have ever dealt out, and it might end super poorly for them if all of this stuff turns out true. So just something to keep an eye out on. We'll probably have an update on Friday, but for now, we can only speculate until MLB does their due diligence to check out these allegations for Wander Franco. We are schmovin' right now, and now we're going to go and dive into our outstanding performances, starting off with Clayton Kershaw, back from injury, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 4 Ks. Gavin Williams, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 10 Ks. Tanner Beebe, 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks. Luis Castillo, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 8 Ks, there. George Kirby, 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 7 Ks. Would have been a complete game shutout had it not been from the Mariners not scoring a run. Alan Winners for the Braves, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 9 Ks. Pablo Lopez, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. Sandy Alcantara, a complete game, 9 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 10 Ks. Zach Gallen, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 8 Ks. John Gray, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 7 Ks. Dane Dunning, 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 12 Ks. Logan Webb, 8 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 6 Ks, was 1 out away from a complete game shutout. And lastly here, Julio Urias, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, and 12 Ks. That is going to do it for our outstanding performances. Moving along now, we have our standings check, and going off the AL East, Baltimore is still in first, 73-45. There are 3 games above the Rays, who have been at 500 a lot recently. They're at 71-49. But if they want any chance at winning the division, they have to get going now. The Blue Jays are 8 games out at 66-54. And then Boston and Yankees follow suit. Boston at 62-56, and the Yankees at 60-58. It seems like the division race comes down to Baltimore and Tampa, but a team like the Blue Jays could get hot down the stretch here and have a run for the money there, but we'll have to see going forward there. For the Central, it's a 2-team race. The Twins at 62-58. And the Guardians at 57-62. The Guardians are 4.5 games back of the Twins. Their run differential is 0. And if they have any hope and any shot at making playoffs, they have to start winning now. The Twins have been pretty good as of late. They're now 4 games above 500, but the Guardians need to get going and get going quick there, yeah. For the AL West, it's a 4-team race. The Rangers take the top spot still. They're at 70 wins and 48 losses. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and they were cruising. The Astros are 2.5 games back on the Rangers. They're at 68-51. And the Mariners right there as well, 6.5 games back. The Mariners could get hot. They were hot. They were on an 8-game winning streak before losing those last 2 games to Baltimore to end the series there. And then the Angels are on 11.5 games back, probably out for the division. And they're slowly making their way out of the wild card. If we take a look at the AL wild card right now, the Rays hold the number 1 spot, 5 games above The Blue Jays, who are in the third spot. The Astros are in the second spot, 2.5 games above the Blue Jays. And that Blue Jays team sits pretty in that third spot. But don't get comfortable because the Mariners are on their tail, and we know the history between the Mariners and the Blue Jays. The Mariners a game and a half back of the Blue Jays. Boston 3 games back, Yankees 5, so still kind of open. If you want to expand a little bit more, the Angels are right there, 6.5, and then the Guardians at 8.5. So like I said, if the Guardians want postseason, they have to go through Minnesota. I don't think they can go through all of those teams for the wild card. And for the Angels, I mean, you're 11.5 back of your division. So realistically, if you want to spot the playoffs, you have to go through teams like the Yankees, Red Sox, Mariners, and Blue Jays. So, I mean, if you're LA, you got to get going and get going now, because any more of this mediocre baseball and you guys could say goodbye to Shohei. Taking a look now at the NL side of things, the Braves sit pretty, 11 games above the Phillies. The Marlins are 14 games back of the Braves, so they're 3 games back of the Phillies. And then you have that big gap there between the Mets and the Nats. And the Mets are only half a game above the Nats for the worst team in the NL. If the Mets finish 5th place in the NL East, what a disappointment that would be. Looking at the Central now, the Brewers have a 3.5 game lead over the Cubs and the Reds, who are both tied. Cubs at 61 and 57, Reds at 62 and 58. The Reds have played 2 extra games, won 1 and lost 1. The Brewers, they're on a 4-game winning streak. They're doing well as of late, and if they want to stay first in the Central, they have to keep this pace up, because any team like the Cubs and the Reds, we've seen them get hot. The Cubs are kind of cooling off a little bit, and the Reds kind of look like they're maybe trying to get back and have a little late push here, like they did when they brought up Ellie. So we'll see what happens there. For the NL West, the Dodgers have been cruising. They're 12-1 in the month of August. They're on an 8-game winning streak. They're 9-1 in their last 10, and are now 8.5 games above the Giants for the division. So the Dodgers kind of have felt into a comfortable position here. They're now 71-46. Giants in second at 63-55, and the D-backs officially back at 500 at 59-59. They're 12.5 back of the Dodgers, so it looks like the Dodgers can sit comfortably for the NL West going forward there. Looking at the NL wild card, the Phillies hold the first spot, 3 games above Miami, who holds the last spot. The Giants a game and a half above the Marlins. And on the Marlins' tail, the Cubs, the Reds, they're both half a game back. The Diamondbacks are 2.5 back, and the Padres are 5.5 back. So if you are the Padres, you have to get going, because you guys are going to start slowing down. And I just want to point this out too in terms of the NL and the AL. Right now, the worst team in the NL, going off of record, is the Colorado Rockies, and they're 16.5 games out of the wild card. The next team after that is the Cardinals at 52-66. They're 9.5. So out of the 15 teams in the NL, only one of them is over double digits games back of the wild card. For the AL, Oakland's 32. The Royals are 27.5. The White Sox are 18.5. The Tigers are 12. That's 4 teams with a lot of games back. It's crazy, yeah. The Rockies at 45 wins. Oakland and the Royals not even at 40 yet. Just the difference there. You have a lot of top-heavy teams in the AL, while the NL, there's a lot of close teams. And like we said, that NL wildcard race, I mean, you've got about 8 teams fighting for that spot, for 3 spots. So, I mean, that race will come down to the end. And right now, Miami, Philly, and San Francisco occupy those spots. That will do it for our standings check. And now a look at the upcoming series for the week. We've got the Phillies at the Blue Jays, Tigers at Twins, Mariners at Royals, Angels at Rangers. So Angels, you gotta take down the best in your division. Astros at Marlins, Yankees at Braves, Red Sox at Nationals, Pirates at Mets, White Sox at Cubs, Battle of Chicago there. Guardians at Reds, A's at Cardinals, Brewers at Dodgers, Rays at Giants, Baltimore at Padres, Oilers at Padres, and the Diamondbacks at the Rockies. So that is going to do it for us today. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. A much shorter episode than last time. We're in the dog days of summer. Things are kind of slow here. We're just kind of waiting for teams to start clinching, which is hopefully soon, probably towards the end of the month. But thank you, everybody, so much, and I will see you guys Friday.